Okay, council agenda, Township Parsippany-Troy Hills, Township Council agenda meeting of May 5th, 2026. Introduction, posting of notice. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building on December 4th, 2025, which remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared in the Daily Record and Newark Star Ledger on December 17th, 2025. May I please ask everyone to stand for the flag salute?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Karifi.
Here.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Here.
Mr. McGrath.
Here.
Ms. Patel.
Here.
Ms. Hernandez.
Here.
Also in attendance are Mayor Polka Desai, Business Administrator Mark Seaman, CFO Angelica Sabatini, our Township Attorney Joe DeMarco, Municipal Clerk Colette Madden, Council President. We have a quorum. May I begin?
Yes.
Thank you. Upcoming meetings, you have May 19th, 2026 at 7 p.m., which is the regular meeting, and June 9th, 2026 at 7 p.m., which is the agenda meeting. At this point, you can just review the ordinance's second reading, which will be adopted at the next meeting. Okay, seeing that there's no questions by council, we're going to go ahead and go right into the public session. May I please have a motion to open up the public session?
Motion. Second.
Before, actually, yeah, I apologize, that was my fault. Before we go into a public session, we're just going to have the mayor do a quick recognition of a student. So go ahead, Mayor.
Hello, everyone. Today I met Victoria in my office, and I felt it was important to recognize her at the council meeting. So, tonight I'd like to take a moment to recognize a truly remarkable young woman from right here in Parsippany. Victoria Liu, an 8th grader at Brooklawn, is a trailblazer. She's the first female wrestler in her school, a sport known for strength, but also demands discipline, strategy, and mental toughness. Wrestling is sometimes described as physical chess. During the match, you can feel what your opponent is doing, you anticipate, you react, and Victoria has mastered that balance. She wrestles boys, and she beats them. She has gone on to become a state champion, but wait, there's more. She's also a national champion. So let's show her. Thank you. And that's not the whole story. Victoria is also an outstanding student. She will be attending Blair Academy next year. In her free time, she enjoys drawing, showing that excellence doesn't come in just one form: strength, intelligence, and creativity all in one. When I spoke with her mother, she asked me to recognize the support for Victoria that she received from Parsippany, PAL, and our school system. That kind of community support matters. It helps make achievements like this possible. Victoria's success is something we can all be proud of. It reflects not only her dedication, but the strength of the community around her. It is my honor to present her with the Certificate of Achievement this evening, and later this month, a Mayor's Award. Victoria, congratulations. Parsippany is proud of you. So this Certificate of Achievement is for outstanding achievement in wrestling, including winning the 2026 USA Wrestling Women's National Championship and representing the state of New Jersey and the township of Parsippany-Troy Hills on the national stage. Congratulations on becoming the first girl to win the Greater Morris County Wrestling Tournament in the boys division, as well as New Jersey State Champion in both freestyle and folk style. The dedication, hard work, and commitment to excellence, both on and off the mat, including earning All-American honors, bring great pride to our community. Good job. There you go. Thank you. Picture.
Agreed.
Let's get going with the family.
Right. National champion. Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. Mhm. Okay, so at this time, we're going to get back to the public session. I'd like to entertain a motion to open up the public session, please.
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Check.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Smith? Yeah. The floor is yours, sir.
Council President, would you allow Mr. Smith to go a little bit over 5 minutes if it comes to that?
Oh, yeah, me.
Yes.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bear with me, I'm not a public speaker.
Okay.
My thing's going to kind of range in 3 sections here. First,
Mr. Smith, I'm sorry, could I ask you to just speak into the mic a little bit? Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, because you got, I just want to make sure they hear you.
My name's Michael Smith. I live at 729 Vale Road, and I'm speaking tonight as a lifelong resident and a member of the sanitation department. I want to take a moment to express something that honestly can't be fully put into words, but I'm going to try. I'm going to thank the entire community for showing up the way you have, the outpouring of support, the donations, the messages, the prayers. It has been overwhelming in the best possible way. It has reminded me, all of us, what this town is truly about. Anthony is somebody who spent his days serving this community, doing a job that often goes unnoticed, but is absolutely essential. And when he needed help, this community didn't hesitate. You stepped up, you showed up, and you proved that the people here take care of their own. To everyone who donated, whether it was $5 to $500, please know it matters. To those who shared the link, checked in, or kept Anthony and his family in your thoughts, that matters just as much. On behalf of Anthony, his family, and everyone in the sanitation department, I want you to know that your support is making a real difference. It's help easing a burden during an incredibly difficult time, and it's giving strength where it's needed most. This is what community looks like. This is what makes this town special. I would also like to thank the administration for their quick response, continued support, and the follow-up. It's been both thoughtful and highly professional. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. That's my first part. Second part, I'm going to give a brief update on Anthony. I did call Anthony before I said I was going to say this. I allowed him to read it. He okayed it. So it's going to be brief, kind of vague, but as for an update on Anthony, he remains in very good spirits and has been surrounded by family and loved ones every step of the way. There's been a constant stream of visitors, family, friends, his brothers from the Mount Tabor Fire Department, and his brothers from the DPW, all showing their support. Less than 24 hours after his third successful surgery, Anthony sent me a video that truly floored me. It was him standing, less than a week after the accident. Knowing Anthony, if there were a way for him to personally shake the hand of every single person who has helped, donated, or prayed for him, he would do it without hesitation. He still has a long road ahead, and I ask that you continue to keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. Okay. I don't even know where I am. All right. All right, now I'm going to touch on something that I think a lot of the residents have concerns about, including the township employees. Right now, you've got an entire sanitation department, and honestly, probably an entire workforce on edge. What used to be a concern has become very real, and our families are feeling it too. Some are even asking us to consider finding a different line of work. Out on the routes, things have changed. We're moving slower, being more cautious. There's a lot more looking over our shoulders to make sure it's safe, and a lot more leaning on the horn when drivers try to pass us in places they shouldn't. So I'll apologize in advance for those early morning honks, but they're happening for a reason. This job is physically demanding, but what most people don't see is the mental strain, and that can be even more exhausting. We're operating 40,000-pound trucks down tight streets, navigating around parked cars, watching for pedestrians, dealing with impatient drivers, and most importantly, positioning the truck to protect the person working on the back. I'm here today to ask the public to help spread awareness. Please don't follow too closely when we're out working. Keep a safe distance from the truck. I hope most people are familiar with the New Jersey Move Over law, but what you may not know is that the sanitation trucks were added in 2021. We've had way too many close calls, so please slow down, be patient, stay alert, and if you can, give us space or simply avoid passing us altogether. I've lived on Vale Road for most of my life, and unfortunately, I hear speeding outside my home every single day. You'll never hear me complain about the men and women who protect and serve this community. I truly believe we're blessed to have such an outstanding police force. On January 29, 2026, our community was shaken when a beloved crossing guard, Denise Rocco, was struck by a vehicle while working her post. What has been done since that date to improve the safety of our crossing guards? What equipment, if any, has been purchased to help with the safety? Have the men and women who perform this job been involved in the conversation on how to improve safety? When is the last time we checked on the signage and painted the crosswalks? In just a short stretch of Vale Road, we have 5 apartment complexes, 4 schools, and multiple crossing guard locations. And in the fact that it is heavily used cut-through street, and it's clear how critical this road is. So why, when crossing North Beverwick heading east, does the speed limit increase to 40 miles per hour, especially on a downhill that leads into a curve? It doesn't make much sense to me. I think that's a... I read a part that was supposed to be, but I already read it. You know, I'm not pointing blame at anybody, especially, you know, some of the people sitting in here. I just think a serious conversation needs to happen, you know, with the traffic committee, the police department, the administration, you know, Vale Road, and it's just not Vale Road. And I understand other people live on other streets that speed, but I live there. There's been 2 incidences with township employees now in a 3 months' time. I think, you know, a speed assessment needs to be done, and a discussion needs to be had. And that's going to be your guys' job. I'm going to keep doing what I do, and I'm going to keep utilizing my voice and spreading awareness. And I hope a lot of the people here do that as well. And again, thank you, everybody, for the support for my coworker. I appreciate it. Thank the administration very much, and all of you. All right, thank you.
I really appreciate what you had to say, Michael. Yeah. I mean, I also had a statement I wanted to make about this. I'm going to kind of reiterate some of the things you said. Over the last week, as a community, we witnessed a horrific accident and serious injury of a dedicated worker and volunteer firefighter. Sanitation worker is difficult labor, and with inconsiderate drivers, they are also at risk. Just this week, there was another accident, I believe, on Vale Road, I heard. We are very grateful for our first responders, but I would like to see them called less frequently. As drivers and pedestrians, we must be mindful of our actions and surroundings. People's livelihoods and lives are at stake. So not only on Vale, you talk about another road that goes from one short mileage to another. On 202, it's the same thing, where that child got killed a couple of years ago. It's a 40-mile-an-hour road. And, right, Sarah, so we would love that to be changed. I don't know how we could do that. I would like to see the traffic committee, maybe we could talk about that move over New Jersey, have a conversation in Parsippany about how we drive, and driving slower and driving more mindfully. We can talk about that maybe, right, Mayor? Maybe we can do that. I think it's time. I know the Traffic Advisory Committee has wanted to do this for a long time.
Council President, very quickly, just to address something that Mr. Smith has indicated with regards to the situation that happened. It was very unfortunate. The mayor then the very next day had spoke to me, and we spoke to the chief, and our head of patrol, and we had indicated that they needed to increase police presence on Vale, North Beverwick, Halsey, Frontage, all the main roads in town, and to be very vigilant of speeding and, more importantly, distracted driving. So just so you're aware, Mayor, I just wanted to just reiterate that. So that was from the mayor right after that happened, so just want to let you know.
So, and we need to do something long-term, too. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Any other member from the public? I'm assuming there's got to be more with all these people, right? There's not just one person that's possible. Oh, come on, Miss Palmieri, how are you?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and the council. So first, I would like to take a moment and all bow our heads and say prayers for Michael. It is very important to me. The next day, I was driving to work, going on North Beverwick Road out to 46, and right in front of me, a truck slammed into the back of an SUV and sent that SUV across the road in front of me. We need to do something urgently to slow people down. We need to have education in the high schools for these young drivers that I see speeding all over town. Vale Road, North Beverwick Road, Lakeshore Drive, over in Lake Parsippany, up and down Allentown Road. We have to have more presence to slow people down and especially get them off their phones. It's really bad how often I see people driving like this. So that's my first comment. My second comment has to do with the article that was in the Focus today. I'm sure you are all aware and have seen it. So my question is, and please don't take this personally because it is not about you, it is about process, okay? I would like to know, do we have the protocol in place for someone to have a job as high as a CFO within our town and another town?
Is that all your questions, Ms. Palmieri?
No.
You have more?
Yes.
Go ahead and ask.
Okay, my second question has to do with the budget. I see that we put something out, but I have not seen that it has gone down any more than what it was. And I'm sorry, if your town workers can only get a 2 or 3% increase, you should be held to that same standard, because that is what we are all getting. And to do anything higher than that, you are drastically affecting families. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Ms. Palmieri. I just want to address the second question. May I, Council President?
Yes, you can address that.
Unless you want to go first.
About the CFO.
Yes, can I do that? Okay.
Yes.
So with regards to that, the protocol in place in general, so I just want to give, first, in town, most department or division heads are allowed to have a second job. They just have to notify us, and as long as it doesn't conflict with this job. So in her case, she's working that second job, and it's a part-time over there. Now, we do have other department and division heads that have second jobs, consulting firms that teach and do other things. So, yes, go ahead, you were going to say something.
It's a New Jersey statute that is supposed to be filled out for job sharing. I'm not sure that's the right word, I can look it up, but are we following that?
I'm not aware of that statute, but I can always look it up and you can come down, but I can tell you we are following all New Jersey laws. We are not breaking any laws, I can tell you that pretty confidently. If you have, we'll do, after the meeting we'll talk. Yep, after the meeting. Thank you for your questions. Any other member of the public?
Good evening, Richard Suarez, Parsippany. I had a cousin that owned a waste management company. He was on the up and up.
Not often you hear that one.
And every year, he said that waste management workers were in the top 3 most hazardous jobs that people do on a daily basis. It's not going to kill you to drive just a little slower, give these guys a little room. You know, everybody's in a rush today. You know, this is a guy's life that's been changed forever. All because someone wanted to get to somewhere to beat you to the next red light. You're going to catch him at the next red light. We all know that. All right? That was item number 1. Item number 2. As far as the budget. Good thing it wasn't dynamite. As far as the budget. A couple of years ago, Mayor Barbario sat here in the mayor's chair, and he came up with a budget of $88 million in change. And there was some discussion from the people who pay the taxes. And he made it point clear. As a matter of fact, he said, if you reject this budget, I'm going to come back with the same exact budget. This administration, at least, has made an attempt to cut down on what needs to be done. It's such a good thing that they're taking maintenance to the preventive maintenance level, like you are with the water towers and the water lines. When you let something go, the problem doesn't go away. It only costs more to fix it. So if you can get your maintenance costs on an even keel, rather than having peaks and valleys, that's what you strive for. And I don't think that, and I'm on a fixed budget, and I don't think, a very fixed budget, and I don't think that the increases, given the fact that the healthcare costs are driving so much of this, it's not a ridiculous amount. It really isn't. Let's look at where the costs are coming from. The costs are coming from outside sources beyond the control of the people here. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
That's correct.
I'll agree with Richard just said about the budget. And I've said this before, our problems stem from a lack of government as intended. We've been compromised by gangsters who are spending our money for everything but the citizens of this country. Healthcare, education, affordable housing, and they just, how much can you bear? Market will bear, economy won't. I'd like to speak up here. I've noticed this before, and they've even mentioned it in the past. We are neglecting our open space and green acres properties. I used to do the Rutgers Rain Garden about 4 times a year, and the Knoll area has been my adopted area since 2014. Invasive plants are starting to dominate the landscape, and it's not a good thing. We have Japanese knotweed, garlic mustard, barberry stiltgrass. No efforts, myelominifine, no efforts are being made by Parks and Forestry or the community, environmental or whatever. But there's a little rain garden down on Wilbur and Lakeshore Drive in Hiawatha. You cross the street along the dike wall, We have the star flowers, the ephemerals and trout lilies that still exist there. The guys cut the grass. They don't police the trash, they cut the grass. But that particular piece of landscape doesn't need any maintenance at all. Let it go. Nature's taking care of it. Go across the street to the Rutgers Rain Garden. It's full of garlic mustard now. It's the allelopathic. It doesn't allow anything to grow there. The sidewalk is deteriorated. And as usual, I spent 2 hours and all I got was alcohol-related products, those little liquor bottles and all. And I can tell you, by just my adopted area and looking around, people are driving and drinking. And I don't know what hours of the day, but that's not good. That's another free market wonder. Go to the liquor store, get you a little shot, drink, drive, litter, so much for public safety. The other thing I noticed today, I'm sitting on the steps, and the truck, and it's been around, a tank on the truck from Parks and Forestry, and it says pesticide. Pesticide. They treat the playgrounds with pesticides. Now, there's a bill right now pending in Trenton. It just began in February, but they want to outlaw pesticides on playgrounds and schoolyards and things like that. The town of Montclair right now has a local ordinance. They don't allow it on their schools and municipal playgrounds. So they're ahead of the state. But how much do we pay to go around for a guy? He could pull the weeds, he get a little exercise, he stay healthy, but he's spraying the cracks of between the bricks and the mulch to get rid of weeds. I mean, isn't that a waste? You know, and how do we really have to cut the grass as much as we cut the grass? Grass isn't harming anybody. We have all these places that are being trashed. We have no duties and responsibilities from the employees to police the litter. Not only police the litter, inventory it and look at it and see what these products, these convenient products, are doing to our community. These corporations are profiting, and we're suffering the cost, and they're producing safety issues, you know? Like the guy I heard from the garbage truck, he was coming up when the guy almost got squashed.
You have 30 seconds.
And he said, the sun was in my eyes. Really? Well, the sun was in, you couldn't see the garbage truck? And I'll tell you right now, on my street, Oneida, we got guys that go from River Drive all the way up to North Bedwick, and we got a lot of them during the day. They're doing at least 40 miles an hour and sometimes more. So it's all over the place. It's the way of life we created, and you're not going to stop it. You're going to tell you it's not going to stop. It's going to continue. Engineer a car that can only go a certain amount of miles, but it's not going to happen.
Okay, Nick,
All right?
why don't we meet and we could talk about those rain gardens? Maybe we could figure out a community project for somebody with the green team.
It's manageable.
But we'll figure it out. We'll talk about it and we'll
All right.
figure it out because the current Parks and Forestry aren't, that's not how they're instructed.
And Knoll needs to invest some of their money in
Figure-
abating these invasives that are taking over the landscape. Since I adopted that landscape,
John, we'll talk.
we'll
We'll talk.
yeah, it's like a tidal wave of
Agnes, go sit down.
invasives.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, everybody's running. Don't go come up too quickly now.
Jack Rea. I like the mayor, but he threw out a jaw dropper recently when he said politicians don't like to raise taxes. Starting with the base year of 2021, the last year of the Soriano administration, where budgeted property taxes were just under 54 million. This year, 5 years later, we are discussing property tax revenue of nearly 73 million, a $19 million increase in a mere 5 years, a 28% increase. In comparison, the school district revenue from 2021-22 was 147 million. Last week, the school district passed a budget of that was approved with property tax revenue of 170 million, a mere 16% increase over the same period of time. The schools have been mandated to are limited to a 2% increase per year. This year was an exception, and for healthcare costs. The town needs a similar mandate. What are our priorities? Should spending increase for the town faster than it's increasing for the school district? That's something that we haven't really asked ourselves, and I don't think that that should be the case. The schools have managed to restrain spending and found ways to work with less, to do more with less. It's time for the town to do the same. Regarding that article I saw today about the CFO in two towns. Now, it's actually encouraging in a way, because in the private sector, CFOs are being hired on a fractional basis. And I don't know the circumstances, and the author of the article admitted they didn't know the circumstances either of the contract between the town and the CFO. But if they're working to save money and do it on a fractional part-time basis, I think that's a good thing and something that should be encouraged. Finally, on the school traffic, nobody mentioned 2 years ago when right by Littleton School, a car got turned upside down, literally on the roof of its car. It was upside down. I couldn't believe it. Apparently, it was a fairly elderly lady who did that, and luckily she didn't get hurt. But the car, there was glass all over the road. It was an accident like I couldn't believe it at that part of town, right by Littleton School. So yeah, the driving in this town is out of hand. It's kind of like the budget increases. So I think we need to calm both things down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony Longo with Parsippany. First of all, I'd like to thank the Mayor Pelkett for helping us with Belleville Road, with the problem we had there with the garbage. That's something Barberio wouldn't do. He wouldn't take a call. He'd just leave a message. And plus, like everybody's talking about, the speeding on the roads, you know, Vale Road, yeah, 40 miles an hour, you see people flying that one. 202, on by the Dunkin' Donuts there, where the two lanes go into one. When people go to that light, they try to go for it. It's speed limit's 40. There's a single lane, and there's an entrance to Dunkin' Donuts and everything. And I've seen numerous people hit the brakes before they ran into somebody. You know, that part should be the speed limit should be lowered there. Boundbrook Road in the morning, when kids are going to school. You know, parents got to get their kids to school quick. They got to get that spot closest to the school, and they race up that road. Put a couple of speed bumps between Camden and Kingston. That will slow the cars down, because nobody wants to ruin their car. You know, and I think that should go around to other schools. Speed bumps. Then people maybe will wake up. And like I said, thank you, Mayor, for helping us, you and the DPW department. And my prayers do go out for the family, for the guy who got hurt. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I live on Nokomis Avenue, right near the Lake Hiawatha Library. So right now, I know, thanks for doing the sidewalk on the North Berwick. My son is autistic and he loves to ride the bike, and now it's much smoother on some part of from the Parsippany funeral down the road. But now the problem is they blocked the road near the Minnehaha on North Berwick, and then divert the cars, detour the cars into Nicomas Avenue. The problem is many of them are commuters and they just don't care. They turn in and the same problem as everyone else has mentioned. That part is a very, like two-side car parking is there and only middle can go. It's not a two-lane road also, and the cars are speeding. I called traffic and complained, left a voice message, left my number and name, nobody called me. And there's one more problem down the street in Nicomas and Lakeshore Drive. The corner property has a big bush which is well above 10 feet. And this I've been complaining for 7 years for them to cut it down so that I come, stop sign, look at the left side, because up the hill from the Lakeshore Drive, the car speeds really. And especially when they see the green light, they speed very much. And I can't even see the cars coming on this side. Numerous times, I was about to take a right and car speeds. Numerous times. Luckily, touch wood, I had not gotten into accident, but someday or other, it's going to be a wreck over that spot.
What was that address
Yeah.
again? What was the location?
Lakeshore into the, Minnehaha into the Lakeshore. Left side, there's a property and there's a huge bush.
Okay.
And I even pulled out a cop and asked him to drive with me, showed him that this is what the visual problem is, because the stop sign is there, the bush is right there. Many property does that. They grow a bush, that happened in the Roosevelt and Lakeshore also, to the right, and they fixed it. So this is one. And second, the crossing guard near the Central, I speak to her all the time. Many cars in the morning and in the evening, that's not a two-lane. When the car takes the left into the backside of the Central, many cars speed on the right side, they come right on the bumper, they speed. Something has to be done over there also.
If you
That's
could,
it.
if you could just give me your contact information and I'll have it taken care of.
Thanks. Thanks, Mark. Also with the first issue with, that you were talking about with your son driving, the first issue you're talking about with the detour.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
Just
on
write,
the
just
street.
write that,
Yeah,
get it down there.
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah, that's engineering. Just give me your phone number.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, it wouldn't be a meeting without you, Mr. Barrios. You know that I was waiting. I was going to call you out if I didn't see you, you know.
Tim Barrios, Farmstead Drive. And let me state that I am a member of the Parsippany Board of Education, but I am here in as a taxpayer and a citizen and not as a member for the board, nor do I speak for the board at this meeting. I wasn't going to say anything, but it was unfortunate that I also drive a school bus, not for Parsippany, I drive for a contractor out of Montville. And as I was coming home, unfortunately, I was able to see what was the last part of that accident, and I did not know at the time what the outcome was, but just from my point, it was horrific from what I saw. So, and a lot of folks have talked about the traffic, and you know, when I was driving, I had a route here in Parsippany for a little while, and you know, one of the things that really hasn't changed much over the years is, like, for example, you know, on a school bus, when you put your reds on and your stop arm goes out, everybody's supposed to stop. Well, on Vale Road, that is not the case. They just blow by you on the left side. Now, 9 times out of 10, students are coming out of houses on your right, so you open the door, so it's odds are you're not going to have a problem. However, and as a bus driver, sometimes you have to make the decision that, you know, do I cut across Vale Road? Do I cross the double yellows just to block traffic a little bit, at least to have safety for the children? But I think, and I had suggested this many years ago, that's a major problem if you get busted. And Vale Road, and like I said, I don't do the stops on Vale Road anymore. I'm not out of Madison. But Vale Road has a number of stops. And I think that it would probably benefit the town to put an unmarked car someplace not visible or just where a few of the stops are. And as soon as you see someone blow the reds, you hit the lights and go after them, because that's going to send a message. The other thing is, I live on Farmstead. Farmstead's a cut through between Knoll Road and and Roosevelt. And unfortunately, most of them are teenagers from our high school, and we do talk to the principal and everybody else, and we do try to send out safety information, but, you know, I've offered it many times in the past. I'm 24, I'm about 4 houses up from the street. Park in my driveway, I'll buy you a cup of coffee, and you can sit there and tag people all day long because they go flying up Farmstead. I'm sure there are any number of streets that are like cut-throughs that similar problems. But one of the bigger concerns that I have, again, also being with the bus and just driving sometimes at night from my work, I'm getting very concerned about these e-bikes or electric bikes or whatever the heck they're called these days. Because these young people, first of all, when it's dark, they're riding their scooters or bikes, and they're not even wearing reflective clothing. I mean, they're just in a dark shirt, dark helmet, and you don't see them sometimes, and almost to the last minute. The other thing is, even during the day, at the 7-Eleven, especially after school, a bunch of the kids will be there, go to 7-Eleven, get whatever they're supposed to get, and then they come tear-assing out of 7-Eleven, and, Lakeshore or Bedwick Road, I mean, depending on, and they don't look for traffic, they just go, expecting everybody else to stop. I was giving one young man jazz the other day because I was like, what, are you crazy? And he basically told me what to do with myself. So, I mean, I guess my point is that I think that from the township, maybe even working with the board, talk to the president, is maybe we can do something where we might annoy some people and have to write some expensive tickets out, but at least, we're not talking about a sanitation worker that is now in the hospital and his life has changed forever. So, thank you.
Thank you, Tim. I think those are worthwhile things to talk about with the police department and the traffic advisory committee. We were going to also do an e-bike education for the township.
Anybody, any other member from the public? Okay, seeing no one else, I'd like to entertain a motion to close the public session, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
And Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay, floor is closed. Moving along to the budget, we are now going to have a public hearing on the 2026 amended budget. Can I please have a motion to open up the public hearing for the 2026 amended budget?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Patel, seconded by Mr. Kavanaugh. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
And Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay, the floor is open to the public to speak only on the 2026 amended budget. On the amendment. Come on up, Mr. Pizzano.
Yes, I have two questions on the budget. One is the water situation in Mount Tabor, phases 2 and 3. Is that included in the budget?
So just so at this time, we're only talking about the amendments that were
Okay,
removed from
because
the
the
budget.
other situation I was looked at is the Knoll is supposed to be a negative or P&L 0 cost. They're asking for, I think, 1.3 million.
Yeah. No, again, that's not what the hearing is
Okay.
on, but we can talk about that at another time.
Another issue we have is number 3. It's going to be affecting everybody in Morris County. Matt Kelly just closed its Eastern Division Friday. So they're moving their offices, they're turning around, they're closing their offices in Illinois, New York, and New Jersey. They control a lot of property here. My relative is one of the VPs. They're not expecting the commercial property to come back into this area until 2040. So it's going to be a serious concern. They control, I would say, about 25 office buildings and just in this town alone. So the other situation is, I keep hearing about the tariff, but this is not a budget issue. I'll speak on that another time.
Okay, lots to think about. Thank you, Anthony.
Council President, if I may, just ask a question.
Yes.
This public session is on the amended budget, not just amendments. So I think if a member of the public has a question, and it wasn't one of the amendments, the question should still be answered.
No, if our attorney could confirm, it is just the amendment.
So last meeting, we had the hearing on the budget, then there was a motion to amend it, so technically tonight is the public discussion on that amendment. So the public was given a full opportunity last time to talk about the whole budget. The procedure traditionally is that the subject matter is limited to the amendment, those cuts that was made, the adjustments that were made downward. It's always up to, discretion.
It's worded that it's the amended budget.
I understand that, but but again, I mean, if there's a valid question that you feel deserves an answer, I mean, that's always up to the chair.
I was a little confused.
But I'm saying if there's a question that does rise that you think should be answered, that's beneficial to the public, we're free to answer that, or you're free to direct someone to answer that. Yes, sir.
Come on up, Paul.
Paul Giovanelli, 5 Marine Road. I was going to come up and ask the same question that Mr. Karifi asked, and I am of the opinion that this session is understood to be on the amended budget, not merely on the amendments to the budget. And I'm in support of that position. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Palmieri, please.
Diana Arvidsson. So I have a question because in prior statements that we have gotten, it showed more detail. So for example, there was a line item, other expenses, that was at $1 million. I don't see that in this statement, so I was wondering, where did that go? Because that didn't just miraculously disappear.
What statement are you referring to?
I'm sorry?
What are you referring to? You have something in front of you.
What was put out here?
Is that from the bond?
Sorry, but it's hard to read because it's so
can I see?
tiny.
I just want to see where you're referencing. It's just a book.
So in the previous
Yeah.
budgets, we saw other
This is just
expenses.
showing the amendments, it's just showing the lines that changed.
Okay, so that other expenses of $1 million is still in there?
Yes. Yes.
Just so we're looking at the same thing. Just show me where you're referring to.
No, in the previous handouts, I don't see other expenses on this one.
Again, yeah, this is just for the amendments.
So only the line items that change?
Correct. The other ones, if they're not listed, did not change, and therefore they stay.
Okay.
So to answer your question is, yes, that
Okay,
item still
and
in the
then
budget.
my other question is, have you, as the council, reviewed a 5-year plan? Because you're asking us to accept an 8% increase without knowing what's going to come down the line. And I find that highly unfair to the residents, because we have no clue. If you say 8% and then come back and say, hey, the next 2 years, 2% and 2%, that may change our opinion on how we feel about this budget.
Well, is that your only question?
That's a personal request. I asked it last
Okay,
time too.
you did.
It would be very
You
helpful.
did. So when we talk, the financial committee and the council people talked with the BA and the CFO, we asked, will this help us in the years to come? And they said that by reorganizing this budget and correcting the issues from the past, we should be in better position next time and then the years after. So yes, technically, can you
I'll make a statement.
make a statement about
Sure.
it? That we should be
So
hopefully.
you're asking
3%.
us.
This is, yes, take it with faith that we should be much lower than we are now. And I'm taking that on faith, and I'm hoping. Of course, we amended it because we wanted it to be a little less, so we're still borrowing, but we.
Judy, I understand
Yeah.
that, but without seeing concrete facts in
Well,
front of
I
me,
can't-
you're asking
but
me
we-
to take a leap of
but we-
faith and trust you.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's still gonna be a war next year. So we don't know what's gonna happen, but 3%, can I say it's gonna be 3%, 4%, 5%? And then if it's not, what's gonna happen?
Judy, in working in corporate America, you never took this year at face value. You always looked in the
Exactly.
future, and without
That's why,
concrete,
that's why our BA.
but you haven't showed us anything. So you're asking us to just trust you.
So, ma'am, just
So-
during the process, during the process, the auditors do look at future, right? They don't put it in, there's no hard, fast projection, what you're looking for. But the anticipation is that next year's budgets and budgets going forward would be more in line with a 3 or 4% increase. All things.
Why can't we spread it out instead of all in one?
Okay, all things being equal, that's the anticipated thing, right? That's the nature of it. And to your point, why can't you spread it out all the years? Because then what happens is when things hit the bumpy road, you get the 8% that you don't like. Right? So
From a finance background, I understand what you're saying.
okay,
But
then we're
without
good.
seeing
We're good then. If you understood it, we're good. I got
We
you.
always do.
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you, ma'am.
Council President, can I make a statement?
Yes, please, Mayor.
As I said from the beginning, we are going to do this the right way. And when it comes to something that's important, you don't guess, you verify. I said during the campaign regarding any financial discussion is trust but verify. So I brought in a second auditor over the last week, not just anyone, but a firm that understands this town across multiple administrations for a second opinion. Just like going to the doctors, when it's serious, you sometimes need a second opinion. This is important. Niscavaccio LLP is the auditing firm that I hired last week. They've reviewed and certified what we set out to do, that this proposed budget puts Parsippany on a stronger financial foundation for the future. It reflects a thoughtful, planned approach with clear direction on funding, priorities, and long-term strategic preparation. We're not kicking the can down the road anymore. We're fixing the foundation. This is about getting it right, not just for today, but for years ahead. And the certification letter has been distributed to the council, and if they wish to make a statement, I'm fine with that.
Ms. McCarthy, once you're done, if you could just sign
Is
it.
this gonna fall on me now?
No,
No, bring
Yeah?
it down.
bring it a little down. See, hold on.
There you go.
You good?
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make a statement about the budget. Probably have a little different take on it, but I think there's a basic financial principle that you can't spend more than you earn. I think that's true in business. I think it's true in government. I think it's true personally. But the town, for more than a decade, has maintained a structural deficit. And it's continued spending more than it earned to cover its daily operating expenses. And using, as I've mentioned in the past, utility surpluses, reserves, and leveraging debt to make up for what it's not collecting in revenue. And while it kept taxes artificially low, it's not sustainable, and I think we're finding that out now. As we can see, it's not sustainable. And actually, the federal spending cuts, the tariffs, the inflation, 9%, 900,000, I think it was, less in the 15 revenue, I think was less, but where we are is what we voted for. So taking all that into consideration, in my opinion, given the challenges, the VA and the CFO have delivered a fiscally responsible budget at 8 or 9%. And I think it addresses, wait a minute, I think it addresses the immediate critical issues. It aligns with long-term objectives. It sets a path for financial stability. And if the town doesn't address these imbalances between revenues and expenses, I think it's going to be increasingly difficult to invest in infrastructure. I think it's going to be difficult to maintain expenses. And I think, so again, I think it begins to build a better financial path for this town. I really believe that, and I've believed that for a long time. So I have one other question. There was a statement made about 1.5 million to pave roads in Glenmont. And I just wanted to understand, I know that's a private community, so I just wanted to understand more detail about that.
So the town has been sued by the HOA and the development. It's been a long, ongoing process. I know the mayor was going to talk about it, so I'll just touch on it a little bit. We're at the point where that should be resolved. There should be something put before the council at the next voting session in like 2 weeks. Part of that is the roads were always intended to be dedicated as public roads since that development originally started. There was just numerous delays and disputes over that dedication. But the initial intent, when everyone bought those houses, when the development was done and created, was that they would be public streets. So ultimately, in the end, they will be dedicated back to the town as public streets. Then they become the town's responsibility.
So that was in the original agreement, because
The original design of the development, yes,
Yeah.
that was always the way.
So what, yeah, it's typical though for private communities really to reserve for
It
their.
depends. It depends on the nature of the community, where it is, how it's situated, whether they have cut streets through it that other members of the public do, right? It's a lot, it depends on the layout of but that one years ago, before many of us, paid attention to things in the town, was designed to be public streets, public sewer system, public water.
Yeah, so this is the first phase of it, as I understand it.
So what we did was, in anticipation of resolving that issue, we did earmark some money in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
All right?
Former Councilwoman Janice. Thank you, Janice.
Come on up, Nick. I see you're ready. Am I going to close this, or Nick, you want to come up? I see you're itching, man.
No.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Council President, I'd like to add something to what Ms. McCarthy said. May I include something?
Of course.
okay, before you add, Mayor, let me just close the public session real quick. Let me get a motion to close the public session. Motion made by Mr. Karifi, seconded by Mr. Kavanaugh. Roll call. Mr. Karifi?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Tell?
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay, the floor is closed.
Ms. Janice McCarthy? I just want to address one of your comments. With this budget, we're not taking any money from utilities to balance anything. We're not taking any money from the utilities to balance the budget.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, just one.
That's why, as I said, I think that
Yep, thank you, that's all. All right. Council President, I'm good, thank you.
Great.
Okay, moving along. So now we're going to go on to resolutions. R 2026-104.
Are we gonna, we're gonna vote on the budget now. Can we make a statement before?
Wait, hold on, we're going to, yeah, the R 2026-104 amendment to the 2026 municipal budget. Can I just get a motion to approve that first?
Sure.
And then we'll move on to the adoption. First, we have to approve the amendment, and then we'll adopt.
Okay.
Should we make comments?
So you'll make comments, you want to make comments before the adoption, I'll open up for public comment. Yes.
It doesn't say that here. I thought we did that.
Yeah, so what we'll do is, so let's do this, just follow my lead. Could I have a motion to approve the resolution for 2026-104? Motion made by Mr. Hernandez, second by?
Second.
By Mr. Kavanaugh. Roll call, Mr. Karifi?
This is for the amended.
This is only for the amendment to the 2026, just the amendment to the 8.25. That's what this is for.
No.
Okay. Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
No.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a 3-2 vote, motion passes. And moving along now to R 2026-105, this is the adoption of the 2026 municipal budget. What I'd like to do, get a motion, then a second, and then if you guys want to make statements before I go into roll call, okay? So can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Ms. Patel. Now we're going to go ahead and go into comments if you'd like before I go into roll call.
Are we making all the comments now or before we vote?
How would you like? Yeah,
Before each one of us votes?
Would you like to do it that way, Mr. Karifi?
No,
Ms. Hernandez, how would you like to do it?
Let's, before each one of us votes.
Fantastic, so let's go right into it. Mr. Karifi.
Okay. I have a couple things I want to say. First off, I want to credit the mayor for making some cuts to the original budget. I know he worked very hard. He cut some positions that originally were in the budget, and I want to applaud you for getting it down to that, the 8.25. I just think that we have a different philosophy on some of the things with the budget. I don't think it was brought up about spreading it out, and to ask the residents, especially with the increase that the school board had to make, and really in no part of on them because of the insurance increases on both sides. For them, for us, it's crazy. It really is crazy. But to see what that total is, $20 and change for us and $44 a month for them, for the average home, and a lot of people that are above the average home, your taxes are going to go up $1,000 a year or more. I would have just liked to see it spread out. I get the philosophy, for instance, of the budgeting $1 million for the retired payouts. I had brought up maybe we could do part of that this year and then do the rest next year. One of the other things too was, we haven't really seen any of the increases yet for the pilot money that's going to be coming in, or this year now we're going to be getting income from cannabis as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get really any pilot money last year, so we can't really include too much of that in the budget this year. But I believe next year we're going to see a big improvement in that. It's been brought up about the 14.5% increase that occurred 4 or 5 years ago. Well, I asked our auditor when we had a budget hearing, and he stated that was true, that our fund balance, which is your bank account, your savings, was down to zero. No fault of this administration here whatsoever. No fault of the past administration. It was from the administration before, because the surplus was well up there, and there was 2 years of COVID in there, but there were also some dispensations through the state that the then mayor was able to get through the governor that are not normal, and revenues that were received from the state were money that was given from the state to the town was allowed to be part of the budget as revenue, which $5 million, which was only a one-time deal. So the next year, we weren't getting that $5 million. So that had to come out of savings. I believe that, if we could, my philosophy was ease it in. Let's see what happens with the revenue from the pilots and the cannabis next year. But let the public know, hey, if we don't do well, like, there's going to be, a decent increase again. But at least everyone kind of knows that. I just think just to wallop everybody with an 8.25, even though, again, I give credit to the mayor for getting it down to that. It's a lot right now, especially with what the school board had to do, no fault of their own. So for those reasons, I'm going to vote no, because I would just like to see it a little bit lower.
Okay, moving along, Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you for this time to talk about this. I think what's important about this budget is we're fixing a bunch of mistakes that occurred in the past. We're not attempting to borrow for things that we've always borrowed for and distributed expenses across 15 to 20 years. So there's some sanity to the budget that's important to me, as well as being balanced and future focused. When we ran as a campaign, we talked about the future. We talked about what is going to be sustainable and what's going to be effective long-term, not year to year. And then I want to read what's on this audit, because I think it's important for everyone to hear this. While a large tax increase is proposed for 2026, we believe that this proposed budget also provides a stronger foundation for future budgets. Overall, the budget reflects planned approach with clear direction regarding the funding priorities and strategic preparation for the future. So, we took that extra step to get it audited a second time, to get more eyes on it, and I'm voting yes for this budget. And then additionally, I want to mention that part of the environmental aspects and the sustainability aspects that we're going to go after can target utility expenses, gasoline. They can target things that are millions of dollars of expenses to the township, and that's one of the things that I ran on. So we will be approaching those in the future. It will take some time, but those are going to cut out costs. So.
Thank you, Mr. Kavanaugh. Mr. McGrath.
So, like Paul, I want to say thank you to the mayor, the BA, the CFO. We've had some spirited conversations over the last 2 months trying to look at this. The big thing that I look at, I think it's now going to be 35 to 40% tax increase over 5 years. That's a lot of money. And sustainability and this is my third year of hearing this is going to get us on the right track, this budget. And it's always interesting to me to see the people that come up and cheer, or the people that yell at you for a 2.2% or a 2.7% increase. When I look at what we're doing, this is going to be unsustainable, right? I've said it now 3 years in a row, and I hope I'm not right, but there's going to be coming revaluation of your home. So your $315K, value of your home will be revalued for $500 to $750 based on the sale price of the houses around you. And you're now going to pay 40% more at your house, so we'll have a sustained 1% increase here. That's inevitable. And that's on this town, the state of New Jersey, the county, everybody we're looking at. The taxes are becoming irrationally high. And one of the big concerns I see is I don't know if there's gold at the end of the rainbow. When you look at the pilot at 1515, there's 3 free months. 3 free months of $3K at 10% pilot is $900 per apartment times 200. That's $180,000 lost. Just think about that for a minute. I don't think there's gold at the end of the rainbow. I'm not going to approve this budget. I'm very concerned for the future of our town. And again, I'm going to continue to hopefully fight this and do the best I can. But again, I really do appreciate them listening and coming down. But I'm going to be telling everybody every day, I'm worried about the state of our state. So no.
Ms. Patel.
Yeah, so I just want to take a moment to thank the mayor, to thank our CFO, our BA, for all of the hard work that they put in. Thank you to our department heads for the countless hours that you put in answering our questions as a council and as a finance committee. Thank you for all the work you put into this budget. Thank you, Councilman McGrath, for helping me understand some of the things in the budget. I texted you a lot and met with you a few times to understand it, and I appreciate you helping me out. I'm voting yes on this budget.
And Ms. Hernandez.
I would like to thank BA Mark Seaman and CFO Angelica Sabatini for diving into the past budgets and holding the 2026. Oh, I'm sorry. Forget about this. I would like to thank BA Mark Seaman and CFO Angelica Sabatini for diving into the past budgets and holding this 2026 budget as flat as possible. Mayor Polkett, thank you for the town hall and meetings with various tax cut scenarios to remind us of how many events that we have in this town and the costs that are not as burdensome as we thought. I appreciate the conversations with residents, and I understand the burdens and concerns because I feel them too. I feel it in my household, especially with the health insurance and healthcare and all insurances. Costs are high everywhere for reasons that we know and some that just don't even make sense. As in years past, I have been critical of borrowing and bonding to pay for everything, and that happens a lot in this town. You and I would not run our households on a credit card. This budget will help us move away from that practice. Next year, we should be in a better shape. The report from our former auditor, Nisovicia, is a vote of confidence that our conservative approach to the budget was appropriate. I think this budget is pragmatic and fiscally responsible, and most importantly, will continue to provide Parsippany residents with the resources and services we appreciate, and I will be voting yes.
Okay, so the vote passes 3-2. Moving along to the consent agenda, if you can just please take a quick look. Action will be taken next week. Seeing there's no questions from council, we'll be moving along to the presentations and reports. Mayor?
Sure. People who are leaving, have a seat. I got good stuff for you.
Bad enough.
I recently had the opportunity to participate in celebrating Parsippany's 50th year as Tree City USA in Paramus, alongside local and state officials. I want to thank our Parks and Forestry Department, as well as many volunteers who helped prepare and distribute trees for Arbor Day celebrations at the town hall and at our schools. I had the chance to get my hands dirty and work alongside our young volunteers. This recognition reflects the effort of those who came before us. Individuals like George Generone, who spearheaded these efforts many years ago, helped lay the foundation for what we continue to build on today. It is because of that leadership, along with the continued dedication of our residents, children, parents, volunteers, and township employees, that Parsippany has earned and maintained its designation as Tree City USA. Together, we will ensure that legacy continues for generations to come. Over the past few weeks, I had the opportunity to attend several important community events. I participated in the Purple Stride Pancreatic Cancer Walk, which raises awareness and supports those impacted by this disease. I attended the American Legion Vendor Fair, highlighting the strength of our local business and veteran community, and I was honored to join the Temple Beth Am in celebrating their 60th anniversary, a testament to the enduring spirit and contributions of faith-based organizations in our township. I was invited to attend the unified flag football game between Parsippany High School and the Parsippany Hills High School. I'll be honest, I couldn't pick a side. Both teams played with incredible energy, sportsmanship, and a heart. It was a great reminder of what makes our community special, bringing people together, celebrating inclusion, and supporting one another. When I took office, I said we would stop kicking the can down the road and start solving problems. Two of those problems were Lake Hiawatha Library and Glenmont Commons, issues that have lingered for years, issues the community has been raising again and again and again. I read your letters, I read your concerns, visited these two places often, and in my first week, I directed our team to act. Today, I can tell you we are moving forward with resolutions. For the Lake Hiawatha Library, we have a path forward. Last Monday, I met with the library board to resolve the long-stalled funds and evaluate our options. We made a decision to move ahead with the rehab of the library. I contacted the architect. The library will form a subcommittee that will finalize the design, and then we will move this project to bid. This is what progress looks like: listening, deciding, and delivering. Next up is Glenmont Commons. We have a resolution. At the next council meeting, we will take action to authorize a settlement that has plagued this neighborhood for far too long. You may have been ignored, but as I have demonstrated in short time that I listen and take action, the details will be shared with the public and the community. As usual, I will provide periodic updates. Recently, we had 2 accidents involving our town employees: crossing guard Denise Rocco and DPW employee Anthony Chandra. I spoke to Denise recently and she is doing well and on the road to recovery. Same with Anthony. When I visited him, he was positive. He has the support of his family and co-workers and certainly the town. Due to his sense of humor and determination, he will recover with a new normal. Thankfully, both are recovering, and we wish them continued strength and a full recovery. These incidents are a reminder that safety, especially on our roads, is not something I take lightly. I have directed our police department to increase patrols, to take a more proactive enforcement approach, particularly when it comes to speeding and reckless driving. We are already increasing patrolling on Vale Road, Lakeshore and Lake Parsippany, Halsey Road, North Beverwick, Frontiers, Jefferson, to name a few. We will be issuing more tickets where necessary to send a clear message. Public safety is not optional, it's a priority. I ask all residents to do their part, slow down, stay alert, and help us keep everyone safe. Additionally, with all these new e-bike laws coming into place and the growth of Parsippany, I'm announcing an initiative called Vision Zero. Parsippany has always taken pride in being a safe and welcoming place to live. But in recent months, our community has seen several pedestrian accidents on our roads. It is imperative for our township to take these incidents seriously as they affect our employees, neighbors, and families. Even one life lost or permanently changed is too many. We understand that systematic changes are needed to make meaningful progress, which is why we are committed to implementing a proven road safety strategy called Vision Zero, a strategy that works to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries while increasing safety, health, and equitable mobility for all. Vision Zero is built on a simple but powerful idea. Traffic deaths and accidents are preventable, not inevitable. Traditionally, we place responsibility solely on the drivers or pedestrian. But Vision Zero recognizes that people make mistakes, and it's our job as a community to design safer systems so those mistakes don't result in tragedy. With Vision Zero, we will be creating and sustaining collaboration amongst transportation professionals, our engineers, policymakers, public health officials, law enforcement, and community members. What this means for Parsippany is that we will be taking a hard look at where and why crashes and other moving violations are happening that are acting swiftly according to that information. Some things that we will be doing are collecting data to analyze high-risk intersections and roadways, managing speed limits, especially near schools and busy areas, improving crosswalk visibility and pedestrian signals, and working with law enforcement on targeted safety enforcement. Parsippany is evolving day by day, and with that comes increased traffic on our roads. We must ensure that our infrastructure and policies keep pace with these changes. Vision Zero is a way for us to be proactive in addressing these challenges before they become larger problems. Every person who walks our street, works on our street, bikes to school, or drives to work deserves to get home safely. That's the future we're working towards. Together, we can make Parsippany's roads safer for everyone. Remember what I have always said many times, that in Parsippany we take care of each other. I'm going to be reminding this to everyone everywhere I go. Thank you.
Okay, Township Council?
Yeah, I have something. The environmental Environmental Committee has, in accordance with NJDEP regulations, written an ordinance for tree removal and replacement. The instruction from the NJDEP is as follows. By May 1st, 2024, all municipalities with a Tier 1A MS4 stormwater permit are required to adopt and enforce an ordinance to control tree removal and replacement, to reduce stormwater runoff and pollutants, and to promote infiltration of rainwater into the soil. At minimum, municipalities must adopt an ordinance that addresses both removal and replacement, and it must apply to all lands of the municipality. The NJDEP has stressed that the model ordinance is a guidance document and serves as a template that can be used in whole or in part for municipalities. Over the past year and a half, the committee with the township developed the ordinance with the guidance of the model and approximately a dozen approved ordinances for municipalities in our area and similar to Parsippany. Links to the NJDEP model ordinance and other FAQ will be on the town website for public information. This is important to review prior to public discussions on reintroduction of this ordinance. We also met the first time with the Parsippany Green Team. We had about 10 people there, and then there's an extended list of about 40 people that are on the mailing list. But we looked at a list of sustainability priorities that are, 150 listed long, and we're going to start looking at what's important, what drives down costs, what makes our community more sustainable, and developing action committees around that. So thank you. That was my update.
Thank you, Mr. Kavanaugh. Any other member from council? Okay, seeing no one, moving along to Business Administrator.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to continue to wish Anthony a speedy recovery as we continue to think about and pray for you and your family. I've met with the union's leadership, and we are committed to working together to put much needed focus on training and safety as we move forward from this. I want to take another quick moment to once again thank the departments, the professionals, our CFO, the mayor, for the hard work of getting this budget in order in the time frame that we did, and still being able to adopt it on time, which is a testament to what I believe the future can bring for this township. I want to thank the Township Council for their support for the budget and understanding those who did not. Your concerns have not fallen on deaf ears, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with all of you to move us forward. We have been actively working to seek out grant-funded opportunities to enhance the ways that residents can utilize our town and services. I've started holding formalized monthly committee meetings with departments and division heads, and we are looking forward to continued progress of getting to know each other, learning the ins and outs of their day-to-day operations, and addressing common goals of serving the residents of the township. Thank you.
Okay, I do not have a report. Anything for township offices and committees? Nothing? Okay, moving along. Moving along to the non-consent agenda. So R 2026-107, authorizing the township to submit an application for a 2026 annual action plan for community development block grant funding. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Karifi, seconded by Ms. Patel. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Moving along to R 2026-108, award of contract for NJ Elevator Inspection Agency for elevator subcode private on-site inspection and plan review services. May I please have a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Ms. Patel. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving along, R 2026-109, authorizing submission of a grant application for a management enhancement review program grant. May I please have a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving along to R 2026-110, authorizing the purchase of two 2026 Ford 350 Super Cab 4x4 pickup trucks. May I please have a motion to approve the resolution above?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving along, R 2026-111, authorizing the purchase of one 2026 Ford Transit cargo van T350. May I please have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Mr. McGrath.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
And Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Moving along to approval of payroll and bills list. CFO Angelica Sabatini recommends authorization for payment. One, authorizes payment of the May 8, 2026 regular miscellaneous payroll estimated at $1,650,000. And two, payment of bills from voucher list of 5/5/26, which is $2,129,904.30. May I please have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Kavanaugh, seconded by Mr. Karifi. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
Motion passes. May I please have the ultimate motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Karifi, seconded by Mr. Kavanaugh. Roll call, Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Mr. McGrath?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Okay. Let's stop.